Hey guys, welcome to Learning JavaScript with John. Oh yeah, my name is John by the way. Okay, so welcome to my first JavaScript thread or series, and I'll be dropping this on YouTube. With the code will be on GitHub and also the presentation, so you can always go back to read. And yes, quick disclaimer before I start. I don't know it all and I'm also learning just like you are. So I hope we enjoy learning together. So we are going to be discussing JavaScript. And this first video is just an introduction of what JavaScript really is. And I'll be clarifying the misconception of saying that JavaScript is also Java. And yeah, just very basic. And we'll also be doing our first JavaScript line of code. So I hope that we enjoy this journey together. It's going to be a series of probably 10, 15, 20 videos just to take us through the basics of JavaScript, and we should all be able to write basic JavaScript applications by the end of this series. All right. Our agenda is just introduction of JavaScript, and like I said, I don't know it all. I'm just learning and putting it out here for you to learn also. Yeah, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a powerful client-side scripting language. It means that JavaScript runs on your own client system. It runs on your own laptop, on your mobile phone, on your desktop computers. It doesn't run on the server per se. So basic JavaScript is a client-side scripting language. Now, a scripting language has its code interpreted at runtime. So, for JavaScript as a language, what happens is the moment you start your browser and it gets to that line of code, then it executes it at the point of running the code. Now, for other languages like Java and C++, they have to first be compiled, and then the interpreter comes to interpret after it has been compiled. So it's the compiled code that is now run. But for JavaScript, it's just the way you write it is what is interpreted at runtime. Now, JavaScript is used for web, mobile, and game development. Now, more complex frameworks have been brought up for JavaScript, like Node.js and Angular, React. Now, this like give gives you gives you access to do more with JavaScript, but basic JavaScript is widely used for mobile, web, and game development. So next, JavaScript was developed in 1995. Boy, that was my early stages in life. Yeah, and the first name was LiveScript, which got later changed to JavaScript. I don't really care about this history, but I'm just putting out here. It's a 2 second history. Just know that JavaScript was created in 1995, and the first name was LiveScript. So just in case someone asks you out there that, oh, you say you do JavaScript, when was it created? It was created in 1995. All right, so next. Now, the misconception of saying that JavaScript and Java are the same language. No, 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 no. JavaScript is not Java. Do not mistake JavaScript for Java. Okay, I'm getting right. So JavaScript is a scripting language. Java is a very complex programming language. Now, JavaScript gives you very simple and basic framework. Like, yeah, most of JavaScript is structured to look like C, and it is very simple. But Java, on the other hand, is a complex programming language. Yeah, we will talk about Java later and how the complexities come in, object oriented, and blah 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 blah. But for now, we are sticking to simple basic JavaScript. You have to understand the basics before you jump into the complex and difficult parts of JavaScript. Yeah, JavaScript has its own complexities, but for now we are dealing with the basic aspects of JavaScript. And what do we know? What tools do we need for this tutorial? Yeah, text or code editor. We can either use Notepad or Notepad++ or VS Code. For me, I would be making use of VS Code. It's Visual Studio Code. You can just Google it. Visual. This is the download page for Visual Studio Code. If you have a Windows device, you could just click this download button, or for Linux, any of this will do, and then for Mac. So just download whichever works for whichever is your device version for Windows 64-bit or 32-bit, whichever works. Just get it, okay? VS Code is for Windows. Now, what web browser would you need? Any web browser would do. You can make use of Google Chrome, Netscape, Internet Explorer, which I would not advise you to use because of personal reasons. But you can also make use of Microsoft Edge. We are going to stop there on the introductions. Remember, JavaScript is a scripting language and it's a client-side language. So you are basically going to be writing applications that will run on your web browser. For this tutorial, we are not going to be writing mobile or games, mobile applications or games. We're just going to be writing basic web applications, block of code that will just run on our web pages, and just keep it simply that way. So let us go to our first JavaScript line of code. Yeah. Okay, so this is what VS Code looks like. For the first JavaScript line of code, we are going to be adding it in our HTML file. Now, JavaScript does not run without HTML. So what we are doing is we're doing a web application. We're doing a web consumption of JavaScript. So we're going to be having like a basic HTML page, and the title of the page is my first JavaScript code. I may want to increase this so we see better. Okay, how do I zoom in on this? Yeah. Okay, so this is my first JavaScript code. This is the title of our HTML page, and script type JavaScript. Now for HTML5, we do not have to specify the script type any longer. So we just have scripts like this, and it's going to run. But for those that probably have like very old browsers and all that, you might not be able to fit in HTML5. So we're just going to leave it this way. Now, your basic HTML page should have an open and a close tag for each of its fields. I'm not going to be teaching HTML in this tutorial, so sorry, I won't be going much into details. Now, under the title tag, where we have script. Now, this script is a JavaScript. Sorry, yeah. Now, the first thing we want to do here is alert hello world. Ideally, what this will do is just show a pop-up on your browser screen that says hello world. It's very simple, and you can easily like write this and understand what it does. So alert brings up a pop-up on your browser. So the same, sometimes when you try to fill a form online and you click register, but because you've not filled your phone number, a pop-up comes and says this field is required, phone number, and it's just like blah in your face. You cannot continue without filling me. I am the phone number. You must fill it. So that pop-up is what this alert function does. Now, what message do you want to pass in the function is what is contained within this open and close bracket. You can leave it empty and just have like something like this. So yeah, just have this, but why would you want to have a pop-up without any message? Awful, right? So I'm just going to have my hello world displayed and save. So the rest of the page, the rest of this code block is HTML. So you can just, if you are new to programming, you can um, you can easily pick up HTML from tutorials, points, or W3 schools, or there are quite a lot of code um, learning platforms here that you can just Google HTML basics, and then you would understand what each of these tags do. But for now, we are going to stick to just this part that has to do with JavaScript. So I'm going to like run this file. So I have learningjs.html. This is the name of the file, and I'm going to directory where I save this and run this. Now it says this page says hello world. Now this is the alert. This is the alert we have written in our block of code. So let me go back. It says alert hello world. Yeah. So if we decide to change this and say hello John, I am your JS alert, blah, screaming in my face, and save this, and then I go back to this page and click OK here and reload. So you can see the message has changed to hello John, I am your JS alert. So JavaScript is like I said, it's a client-side scripting language, and for the sake of this tutorial we are going to be focusing on web development aspect of JavaScript. Alright guys, that will be all for now. In the next video we'll address another medium of output for JavaScript. We'll be using the console.log, and then we'll also be talking about data types in JavaScript. And going forward, I would not want us to make use of this HTML file. I would actually just want us to create a JavaScript file. The extension is .js, but that will be from the next video. So please get your text editors downloaded and just get ready. Okay, we are about to go on a learning spree. All right guys, thank you very much for joining, and I'll see you in the next video.